in New York. This is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the breaking news, the growing chaos facing millions of airline passengers across this country. Major airlines, including Delta, United, and American, already canceling hundreds of flights because of the government shutdown, now day 37. The FAA is taking extreme measures, ordering flights be cut by up to 10% at 40 major airports across this country, including New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. This government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history. Air traffic controllers now dealing with no pay, their second paycheck with a zero. Passengers scrambling to make last-minute changes, of course, concerned whether their flight will be canceled too, concerned about being stranded. Also breaking at this hour, a federal judge tonight ordering the Trump administration to fully fund November food benefits, SNAP, for 42 million Americans by tomorrow. ABC's Rachel Scott leading us off tonight.
Tonight, a mad scramble for passengers at airports across the country before airlines start canceling thousands of daily flights. The Trump administration says to ease the strain on air traffic controllers from the government shutdown.
I was able to get on the flight early before some of the delays started, so I'm just getting home before it happens.
I'm so glad I'm flying out today.
How stressful is it for you as a traveler?
Stressful. Check the, I guess, the wait time at the lines today beforehand and just worried about it. So keep your fingers crossed.
40 airports will be impacted, including the country's busiest, from Atlanta to Los Angeles to Chicago, New York's JFK, Miami, Detroit, and DCA in Washington. Tonight, Delta Airlines says they'll cancel 170 flights tomorrow, American Airlines 220, and United Airlines says they'll slash just under 200. Passengers getting notifications like this one. Caitlin Ladner in Wisconsin had planned to fly to Raleigh tomorrow to surprise her parents.
It was definitely, disappointing. We had been planning it for a while, and it's pretty upsetting.
In a since-deleted social media post, the CEO of Frontier Airlines with this stark message, writing, "If your flight is canceled, your chances of being stranded are high, so I would simply have a backup ticket on another airline." Today, the president asked if Americans should feel safe flying, with busy holiday travel just weeks away.
That's why they're cutting, yeah. It's a fair question. As Sean Duffy announced, they're cutting in certain areas 10%, and they want to make sure it's 100% safe. That's why they're doing it.
Officials say the shortage of air traffic controllers who missed their second full paycheck today has reached a tipping point, pushing them to take unprecedented action, reducing flights by 4% tomorrow and ramping up to 10% over the next several days.
Safety first, whatever they have to do.
Day 37 of the government shutdown, and demand is surging. Long lines at food banks and drive-through food distribution centers from California to Ohio.
Okay, here you go.
Judge John McConnell rebuking the Trump administration, accusing the White House of trying to withhold benefits for, quote, political reasons, pointing to the president's own words on social media, saying payments will be given only when Democrats open up government. Tonight, the Trump administration says they plan to appeal that ruling, but it does leave millions of Americans who rely on those SNAP benefits hanging in limbo. Meanwhile, at airports across the country, including right here at DCA, officials are bracing for even more cancellations tomorrow. So far, at least 700 flights have been canceled, but that number only expected to grow, David.
You told us this was coming last night here and already seeing the effects tonight. Rachel Scott, live in Washington. Thank you. We turn now to the stunning death of an NFL star. The Dallas Cowboys' Marshawn Kneeland was just 24. And just 3 nights ago, celebrating on the field, scoring a touchdown on Monday Night Football. Tonight here, his alarming final hours before authorities say he took his own life. Here's Will Reeve.
It was just 3 days ago on Monday Night Football. 24-year-old Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland scoring a touchdown.
Into the end zone in a race. And a touchdown.
Recovering a blocked punt in the end zone, celebrating with his teammates.
Kneeland, the touchdown.
Tonight, his story ending in tragedy. Authorities say he led police on a chase in Texas and was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officials say Kneeland fled from a traffic stop shortly after 10:30 last night, sparking a pursuit through the city of Frisco. Troopers losing sight of his vehicle, finding it minutes later crashed and abandoned on Dallas Parkway. Officers launching a search for Kneeland using drones and a police canine, as loved ones reportedly warned authorities of a potential crisis unfolding.
We're talking to the girlfriend. She's trying to call his agent, but we're trying to get him to call her to call him first, but she's saying he is armed and has a history of mental illness, and her quote was, "He will end it all."
About 3 hours later, authorities finding Neeland's body. Neeland was a second-round pick out of Western Michigan in 2024. He had been open about his struggles over the loss of his mother, who had dreamed her son would make it to the NFL, but died suddenly just 2 months before he was drafted.
It was tough. It still is. I still go through it from time to time.
Neeland kept his mother's memory close every day, wearing a necklace holding her ashes.
This right here, man, got her ashes. You can zoom in on that, her birthday. It's so nice, man.
David, no word yet from authorities as to why Neeland was allegedly fleeing that traffic stop. And tonight, if you or someone you love is suffering from thoughts of suicide, you can call or text the National Lifeline at 988. David?
Really just an awful story. Will Reeve tonight. Thank you, Will. There are horrific new images tonight of the deadly plane crash in Louisville, and we have now learned that they are still searching for 9 people at this hour. Matt Rivers in Louisville.
Tonight, 48 hours after UPS Flight 2976 lost its left engine, crashed, and exploded, investigators from multiple federal agencies are combing the half-mile-long debris field for clues and searching for 9 people still missing.
We found multiple pieces of engine fan blades, along with the main component of the engine of the number 1 engine, which is on the left side of the aircraft.
The NTSB says they successfully extracted the data from the charred flight data and cockpit voice recorders. And preliminary flight data shows the plane was 450 feet off the ground and going 210 miles an hour when it crashed. And they're poring over the multiple videos that show the plane and the explosion. Watch this dashcam video closely as the plane screams past. You can clearly see the plane's right engine intact, but the other 2 engines are gone. Experts say it's possible that when the left engine fell off, it took out the plane's center engine, leaving the plane without enough power to get airborne. At least 13 dead and at least 9 still missing.
Did everybody make it out? No. What do you mean no? No!
Sean Garber says at least 3 workers were trapped inside his scrap metal recycling facility.
2 of the ladies were in their mid-30s. One of them, unfortunately, fortunate at the time, but now was pregnant.
One of them was pregnant?
Yes.
And late today, UPS identifying the 3 crew members who died on that flight. Captain Richard Wartenberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and International Relief Officer Captain Dana Diamond.
David, UPS saying it extends its deepest sympathies to family members and to the Louisville community. Members of the community gathering tonight at a vigil to remember those lost in the crash that investigators are still trying to understand. David?
All right, Matt Rivers live in Louisville. Thank you, Matt. Tonight to the case of the first-grade teacher shot by a 6-year-old. She argued the school ignored warnings, and tonight here, the jury's decision. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, a Virginia jury finding that an assistant principal failed to protect a first-grade teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old in her class.
We, the jury, on the issues joined, find in favor of the plaintiff, Abigail Zwerner, and assess her damages at $10 million.
It's a case that shocked the nation. A civil trial revealing for the first time those searing images of Abby Zwerner being raced to a hospital with a bullet inches from her heart. A bullet that remains inside her today, too dangerous to remove. Zwerner in a dramatic moment taking the stand.
I thought I had died. I thought I was either on my way to heaven or in heaven.
The jury of 3 men and 4 women agreeing with the teacher's attorneys that Assistant Principal Ebony Parker ignored repeated warnings that the child, who had a history of disruptive behavior, had brought a gun to school.
Dr. Parker's job is safety. A gun changes everything. You stop and you investigate.
David, the legal fight over what took place that day is not over. The assistant principal also faces a criminal trial set to begin in just a few weeks. David?
Pierre Thomas on this again tonight. Thank you, Pierre. There is major news tonight involving those popular and expensive weight loss drugs. President Trump striking a deal to lower the cost. Here's Mary Bruce.
President Trump tonight announcing a deal with pharmaceutical companies to drastically lower the prices of wildly popular weight loss drugs, Wegovy and Zepbound, making them available to millions of Americans who right now can't afford them, including many seniors on Medicare.
It's a triumph for American patients that will save lives and improve the health of millions and millions of Americans.
These drugs, known as GLP-1s, now cost more than $500 a month for people without insurance. Under Trump's new plan, starting in early next year, that price would fall to $350 a month and down to $250 within the next 2 years. The drugs will also soon be covered for Medicare patients with severe obesity, though not for everyone who is simply overweight.
Co-pays for Medicare patients will be as low as $50. This is tremendous savings.
And qualifying patients on Medicaid could end up paying virtually nothing.
And you can guarantee the American people that once these costs go down, they're going to stay down.
There may be other manufacturing issues that can drive prices up and down, but I feel very confident that now we've set the standard. I don't think future administrations will vary on that.
And David, Dr. Oz was also involved in a scary moment here in the Oval Office. Just as this announcement was going on, an attendee collapsing. Dr. Oz and others then rushing in to help. Tonight we are told the man, a guest of one of the drug companies, is doing great and that there's nothing to be concerned about.
All
David.
Right, that's reassuring, Mary. Thanks. Tonight we're tracking bitter cold moving in. Let's get right to Lee Goldberg from WABC back with us tonight. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David. Last year in this state, 80 degrees in New York City. Now we talk about a winter blast early next week. It starts in the Midwest over the weekend, and by Monday morning, you're talking about teens and 20s in the Midwest and sub-freezing temperatures in the South. The core of the cold gets to the East Coast by Monday, 30s along the I-95 corridor. 28 in Atlanta could be record chill. The good news is this is a quick winter shock to the system, and we bounce back with the temperatures midweek. David?
Lee Goldberg. Lee, thank you. Now to the end of a political era. After nearly 40 years in Congress, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the first woman speaker, revealing her plans to retire. The former speaker made history. She says she will not run for re-election next year. She first took the speaker's gavel in 2007. She once said the power of the speaker is, quote, awesome. In a message to supporters today, Pelosi saying, we have made history, we have made progress. Former Presidents Biden, Obama, and Secretary Hillary Clinton all celebrating Pelosi's long career in public service. Former Republican Speaker Paul Ryan also saying Pelosi, quote, blazed a trail for female lawmakers. When we come back tonight, the horrific shooting. Police say the victim, a cleaning woman, was shot through the front door when she went to the wrong address. In New York City, a massive explosion, multiple firefighters hurt. Authorities describing a wall of fire. And the dramatic showdown tonight, outraged Miss Universe contestants walking out after what the pageant director said to Miss Mexico. In a moment. Tonight, an awful shooting outside Indianapolis. Authorities say the victim, a cleaning woman, a married mother of 4, was shot and killed through the front door when she went to the wrong address. Police say one shot was fired from inside the home. In New York City tonight, a massive explosion injuring 7 firefighters, a trash fire in the Longwood section of the Bronx, spreading to several cars. Then the blast right there. 5 of the firefighters suffering serious burns. Tonight, all are expected to make a full recovery. When we come back, outraged Miss Universe contestants walking out after what the pageant director said to Miss Mexico. In a moment. To the Index, the dramatic showdown at the Miss Universe pageant. Outraged contestants walking out after a pageant director scolded Miss Mexico, humiliating her, accusing her of not participating in promotional activities on social media, then calling security to remove her from the room. That official later apologizing. When we come back here tonight, America Strong, our Debra Roberts is here. What she reveals about her own family. Her sisters are all here in a moment.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. Sponsored by Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Finally tonight here, America Strong. Debra Roberts on the bond between sisters.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
It's been a personal journey for Debra Roberts, exploring the bond between sisters, her 4 surviving sisters right there with her.
Debra, I gathered growing up, you couldn't even put your finger on the power of this sisterhood.
I never could, but it has been so powerful. And having my sisters get a chance to share in this celebration of sisterhood.
I saw them in the room with you here in New York City. I could see them beaming at your celebration of the sisterhood.
Because it was their celebration too. I mean, this book was really inspired by my connection with them over the years, and I felt like it was fraying a little bit. I think all of us felt that. We've lost some siblings, one sister to mental illness and alcohol abuse, and we hadn't really talked about that, and now we finally did.
Her husband, Al Roker, capturing the moments. And it's not just Debra and her sisters. She interviewed so many others about their sisters, too. Our friend Robin Roberts.
And she has a powerful sisterhood, too. And Sally Ann, who literally saved her life.
We all know Robin, and we know she's got sisters who got her back. But I wanted to hear from those two. So they agreed to sit down and talk to me. And when they popped up in the Zoom room, who turns up with them but baby sister Robin? Yeah. Right in the background. She wanted to share in that moment with them, but also to be careful to see what they would say.
What are you going to say about me?
What are you going to say?
And it was during their conversation with Debra that Robin shared the moment she told her sister Sally Ann that she was a bone marrow match for Robin.
I called her and I said, "Sister, you're a match. Do you want to do this?" Without hesitation, she said, "Not only do I want to do this, sister, I believe I was born to do this."
I do believe that. And she came through it. And after you see your sister going through something of that nature, it causes you to realize the value and the preciousness of life, and that we don't take time for granted.
And Dorothy, who is a rock.
For me, I feel that my sisters always have my back. And that's what it's like.
And Debra talked with Michael Strahan's twin daughters, too, about their bond after Isabella survived a brain tumor.
Isabella and her bravery, her courage. She couldn't do it without her sister.
Isabella and Sophia just really touched my heart in a way that I didn't expect.
Sophia on the left, on being there for her twin sister.
I think it really changed the dynamic of our relationship because it was a lot of me supporting her and being there for her, which is not something I've had to do before, but it was really important to me and it was so scary.
Over the course of their conversation, tears. Isabella, a brave survivor, but she still misses the simpler things about being a twin.
We don't even look the same anymore. It's a little sad to me.
But this journey together has made them stronger.
I think it's really just brought us a lot closer. We still get in fights now because she's like, "You're fine now." Like.
And back on that balcony, that perch over New York City where Debra and I do 20/20 together, one more thing about Debra's sisters.
Your sisters have agreed to let me borrow you on 20/20 as my sister.
They absolutely have.
I know you've got my back.
An honorary sister, that's right, or an honorary brother in this case, but they are happy to have you in the fold.
Happy to be part of the fold. Sisters across the country tonight, I'm sure, can relate to all of this. Debra's book, Sisters Loved and Treasured, Stories of Unbreakable Bonds, is out now. I loved meeting Deb's sisters, too. I'm David Muir from all of us here. Have a good evening. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program.